Today, the game we are going to analyze is an immortal game played by a Chinese player, Wei Yi, and it is of a caliber of a game which was played between Garry Kasparov and Vasilij Topalov in 1999 and played by Morphy, the immortal game. And this is the game of that caliber. So, this game was played between Wei Yi and Bruzon Batista in 6th Hainan Danzhou GM tournament in 2015. The opening played in this game was Sicilian Defence French variation. Let's start with the game. e4, c5, knight f3 and e6, and this is the start of the French variation of Sicilian Defence. The opening is played perfect as per the standard, as they were both prepared well in this in their openings. Knight c3, a6, all standard moves, bishop e2, knight c6, d4, c into d4, knight into d4, queen c7, the standard move, castle, knight f6, developing the knight and threatening the pawn on e4, bishop e3, bishop e7. Here I would like to add that there is the main move which is being played is bishop d4 over here in this game. After that, knight into c6, d into c6, and knight a4. Black castles and bishop b6. Sorry, bishop b6. Threatening this queen over here. Queen moves to f4 and bishop d3. Sorry, bishop d3. This might be the sequence of the moves if instead of bishop e7, bishop b4 is played. But still, we are in the theory. Bishop e7 is the second most common move in this line. f4, d6, opening a path for the bishop on d7, king h1. It is a prophylactic move that if something happens on this dark diagonal, then this king should be out of check. Black castles over here, queen e1, bringing the queen to this king side for the attack. We are still in the theory. Knight into d4, bishop into d4, and b5. Saying that I am going to develop my bishop to b7 now. Queen g3, bringing the queen to the attack. There are many options over here. Bishop b7, developing the piece. We are still in the theory. This is the 13th move and we are still in the theory. a3, not allowing black to play the move. b4 over here. Rook a d8, still in the theory. Rook a e1. The reason behind bringing the rook over a e1 instead of bringing the rook to a d1 is that white wants to play this move e5 and wants to open this f file for his rook, and this diagonal after bishop d3 want to eye this diagonal over here by the bishop. That's why rook a e1 is played instead of rook a d1. Rook d7, still in the theory, wanting to double the rooks over here. Bishop d3. Now white is going with his plan that he's going to play the move e5, open this diagonal, as this queen is already on the king side, and to open this file for f rook. Queen d8 was played, and this was the first slight mistake of the king. Although we are still in the theory, instead of it, it was better to play the move rook e8 first. And it was also a prophylactic move that if something happens on this h7 square, that white sacrifices the bishop, or queen comes here, or rook comes here, then this king has a escape square, and this knight could go back over here on g8. That's why this prophylactic move was better. After queen d8, queen h3 was played immediately. The reason behind to play this move queen h3 is eyeing this pawn on e6 and also eyeing this pawn on h7. That I'm going to play this move e5, and there is a mate on over here, and this your knight on f6 is threatened. This was the second mistake by the black in this position. The move g6. It was not better at present to weaken the dark squares around the king side. Instead of it, it was better to give the escape square to this king. That was the best prophylactic move over. After that, rook f3, bringing more ammunition in the game to the king side of black. And now g6. Because king has this square over here, and this bishop can move over here for the protection of this king. And after f5, if this continuation might be, then e into f5, e into f5, and bishop into f3, and queen into f3. Although white is exchanged down, but his position is very bad, because both of the bishops are attacking the king side complete diagonals, and they have complete control over these diagonals. So g6 was played immediately, and that was a mistake. And this was, I think, the mistake which caused black the game, because he did not have the escape square for his king on f8. f5, now immediately opening this king side. As these both rooks are developed, this bishop is already eyeing on d3, already eyeing this diagonal. This black bishop is still already eyeing this diagonal. So e5 and bishop e3. Taking on e5, sorry, f5 is a blunder over here, because after e into f5, now if you play the move d5 to control these squares, then the move queen h6, and black should resign over. The reason behind is that after you play bishop d6, then knight e2, bringing the more firepower over here, and you place the move b4 over here, then knight f4. After b3, now f into g6, f into g6, and bishop into g6. The attack is very fierce. So e5 was played over here, and after that bishop e3, rook e8, and now it was not the time to play the rook to e8. because this pawn on f7 is weak. Before that, if this maneuver had been done, that this pawn was not going to be. F into g6. Now opening up this f5 for his rook. H into g6 and knight d5. A marvelous move. And now I want you people to stop and assess this position. Then how black should continue out here. Whether he should take it with the bishop or whether he should take with the knight, which is better. One of these moves are a blunder. Kindly pause the video and think that why knight into d5 is a blunder and bishop into d5 is not a blunder. Although white's is very much better over here, but why this move knight into d5 is a blunder? Kindly pause the video and think. I think you have might assess that why knight into d5 is a blunder, because now this rook on f5 had full control of f5, and if you have seen some 3 to 4 moves ahead, then I would say that you are already playing at a GM level. Here knight into d5 was played, which was a blunder, but we should see that what happens that if we take the knight with the bishop. After e into d5, rook b7. Queen f3, eyeing this diagonal and f7 pawn. King g7 and now g4. Attacking this knight. Rook f8, trying to protect this pawn on f7 and h4. After that, queen c8, attacking this pawn on g4 and trying to come to this diagonal. Now bishop h6 check first. After king into h6, then g5 check, king h7, g into f6 and bishop into f6, and now the move h5 first. Still white is better over here, and on the board this position is very difficult to handle for black. But at least over here black would try to go for a draw. But this move knight into d5 was a blunder. And here we came up with a great idea which made this game an immortal game. I want you to pause the video and think deep that what was the move over here. I hope you have seen the move over here, that what was the great move due to which it became the immortal game, the start of the combination, the start of a mind-blowing combination. And that move was rook into f7. And the king had to take at every cost, otherwise this is a checkmate. So king into f7, queen h7 check, king e6. Now I want you people to think once again that can you take this pawn immediately? No, you can't take this pawn immediately because this knight will come back. for the rescue. So first e into d5. After king into d5, now here we had to thought that this king may go to c6 and then to c7. When he has reached the c7, he's safe and black would be better. And now I want you people to stop the video and think how white can stop black from escaping to this game. The move played over here is that bishop e4 check, giving away one more piece to keep the king in these light squares. Now king has taken to the e4. Now what is the continuation? How could you stop king from escaping to these light squares and to this c7 square, and also create a mate threat? And the move here played was a very quiet one, and that was queen f7. And that is, you can't escape through d5, and I am giving you the checkmate on queen f3. So the only move over here to stop this is bishop f6, taking away this f3 check from white. So now what? How to continue the attack? Bishop d2. Bring the king over here to further. And when king d4 was played, now what? Once again bishop e3 check. King e4. How to continue the attack over here? How to create a mating threat? And these black pieces are doing nothing over. And the beautiful move is queen b3. Now I am going to mate you on d3 over. The black has to run, and where he could run, he had to play the move king f5. Now how can you take away other squares from this king? And the move was rook f1 check, king g4. Now stop the video and think that how can you continue the attack over here? How can you bring this king to a mating net? Have you seen that where this king is moved? Here, 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 and here. The king is maneuvered from here to here. I think you have judged the move, and that is queen d3, another quiet move. The beauty of this combination is that there are too many quiet moves. First one, queen to f7. The second one, queen to b3. The third one is queen to d3. That I'm going to mate you over here now. I'm going to take this pawn and mate you. So a very desperate move by black, and that was bishop into g2. Instead of here, he could have tried for rook g7 here, protecting this pawn. But after queen e2 check, king h4, and queen e1 check, king h5, queen d1 check, king h4, and the beauty is the move simple, that is h3, that I'm going to checkmate over. So the desperate move which was played in the game was bishop into g2 check, and king into g2. Then queen a8 check, bringing the queen to this diagonal and just moving the king back, king g1. Now this diagonal is controlled, this pawn is threatened, the king has just one square, h4 over here or h3. Now think that how to continue. Here black tried the move, desperate move, bishop g5, as he does not have any options. Instead of it, he should have gone again with rook g7, but still it is a mate. So bishop g7 was played, and now pause the video and think that how to mate the king over here. I hope that you had find it. And queen e to check, king h4, bishop f to check, king h3, bishop e1, vacating the square for this rook, f3 check, and black can't go anywhere because even after rook f8, rook a to f8, and queen can't take it. The desperate move would be queen a7 check over here. This can stop the mate. So when bishop e1 here was played, Bruzon Batista designed the game. The most beautiful combination which started from the move from here after knight in d5 and rook into f7, which made this game immortal. And we had seen through a combination of at least 14 to 15 moves over here. Then he played this move, rook into f7. This was the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it and liked it. Kindly hit the bell icon button and subscribe. Thank you very much.